Better be careful, it can be a wild world out there. But to one lady, that's an invitation. Michaela Strachan.
Well, I've bathed with a rubber duck before, but I've never had a bath with an elephant. I'm going to get in the winter. I wasn't even scared.
From the shores of Britain to the wilds of Africa, Michaela Strachan brings the wild world of animals into focus on Animal Planet.
From now, the Earth is much warmer than today and has been for millions of years. The sea level has risen, covering much of the low-lying areas of land. The map of the globe looks completely different due to the movement of continents and the rise in sea level. These shallow seas support a very strange creature, the ocean phantom. It is not one animal, but a colony of creatures that work together, feeding on swimming sea slugs, reef gliders. Around the shores of these seas are huge swamps, and this is where life has really changed. Over tens of millions of years, new creatures have evolved. The giants of the swamp, taratones. They've evolved from tortoises.
The adults are enormous, the biggest animals that have ever walked on the face of the planet. 120 tons. That's bigger than even the biggest dinosaur.
In the dark, murky waters of the swamp, the lurkfish senses its prey by electricity. Then kills it with a shock of over 1,000 volts. The lurkfish's prey is a swampus, an octopus that can live on land. They communicate by changing color patterns on their bodies. But if the warning flashes are ignored, a swampus can attack. The swampus has a bite so poisonous it can even kill a taraton. In the hothouse climate of 100 million years in the future, much of the land is covered in forest. Even the continent of Antarctica, which has moved off the South Pole. Over 100 million years, Antarctica has drifted as far north as the tropics. The seabirds that once lived on Antarctica have also changed into small, colourful flutterbirds. And there are huge bird-eating insects in this forest. But although the falcon fly attacks some birds, others can defend themselves. These insects, spitfire beetles, have another way to attack flutterbirds. They cooperate. To survive in this crowded future world, many creatures have formed strange partnerships and alliances. living underground, the very last of the mammals, the poggle. This small rodent lives in the caverns of spiders, feeding on the seeds that the spiders have collected. But the spiders are farming the poggles, then feeding them to their massive queen. There's been a hothouse world for millions of years, constant and unchanging. But the forces that created this world will also destroy it. Volcanoes become more active, spewing out poisonous gases and clouds of dust, and wiping out most of life on Earth.
Every once in a while, the biology of the world is punctuated by a terrible event, often external, sometimes erupting from underneath the seas. Those terrible environmental events wipe out 80%, 90%, 95% of the species in the world, and they're called mass extinctions.
Only a few animals will survive this mass extinction.
When you have a major environmental perturbation like huge volcanism, none of those organisms that have evolved for that preceding 100 million years are in any way adapted to deal with this. The environment shifts. It becomes potentially cold, dark. Volcanoes can create a variety of environmental shifts. Only those organisms which by chance can survive under those circumstances are the ones that are going to live through to the other side.
In the third time period, 200 million years in the future, 100 million years after the mass extinction, life has bounced back. But 80% of the planet is a desert, and that's because most of the land is a long way from the moisture of the ocean.
In 200 million years' time, the continents will once again come together to form one huge landmass. This has already happened in Earth's history. 200 million years ago, the continents were fused into one huge landmass, which is called Pangaea. So in 200 million years' time, we will have a new Pangaea, a new supercontinent, surrounded on all sides by ocean.
The global ocean stretches for 20,000 kilometers. But there are no fish anywhere in the surface waters. They all died out with the mass extinction. Instead, there are silver swimmers, evolved from microscopic plankton. There are thousands of different species. And silver swimmers are preyed upon by completely new creatures. Fish. 200 million years from now, in the absence of birds, they rule the skies. Beyond the mountains that stretch down the coast of the supercontinent, most of the land is empty. But there are very isolated oases where water reaches the surface. Here, garden worms bask in the sun. But their enemies are on the warpath. These are termites, evolved from termites. They attack the garden worms with elaborate chemical weapons. Which animals survived the mass extinction was simply a matter of chance. Left alone, with enough time, even a snail can evolve to live in a desert. This is a desert hopper. It lives on the scrubby desert plants. But not everywhere in this future world is desert. In the northwest corner of the supercontinent, moist winds from the global ocean have created a forest where it rains every day. There are fish living inside the forest, and lichen trees 10 meters high that are descended from the tiny lichens that encrust rocks today. Most bizarre of all, an 8-meter high, 8-legged squid, a mega squid. And a totally flexible, bone-free body would be perfect for life in the treetops. Squibble would be even better at swinging through the branches than today's gibbons. But the idea of squid swinging through the trees 200 million years from now, is it really feasible?
We can't be 100% sure that this is exactly what an animal will look like in the future, but we can be sure that as long as new environments continue to open up, as long as animals continue to exist, as long as there's still food for them to eat and air for them to breathe, they're going to continue to adapt and change.
So join this scientific voyage through time to see one possible future for planet Earth. It's a voyage that's scientifically feasible and truly wild.